All right, today we're diving into a book that might just flip everything you think you know about happiness on its head. It's called The Courage to Be Disliked, and it's all about the psychology of Alfred Adler. Get this, it argues your past has absolutely zero power over you, that your unhappiness is actually a choice, and that finding freedom is way simpler than you've been led to believe. So, yeah, let's get right into it.
You know that feeling, right? That sense of just being stuck? Like you're held back by something you can't even see, and no matter what you do, you just can't seem to change. It's this super frustrating and honestly really common feeling.
And what's the usual explanation we hear? Well, it's that our past is the culprit, right? This is the classic Freudian idea. Our childhood, our traumas, those are the things that cause our problems today. And, it sounds pretty logical on the surface, but what if that's just not true? What if the past doesn't actually have that kind of power over you? This is where Adlerian psychology comes in, and it offers a totally different and honestly a way more empowering perspective on our lives.
So it all boils down to this really simple idea. Picture some well water, okay? It's always 60 degrees. Now, on a scorching hot summer day, that water feels amazing and cool. But in the middle of a freezing winter, it feels warm. The water itself never ever changed, only how we experienced it did. Well, Adler says our life events are exactly the same. It's not about what happened to you, it's all about the meaning you give it.
Okay, so let's jump right into the first big idea. This really radical concept that your past, yep, even your trauma, doesn't actually determine your present.
The key difference here comes down to two totally different ways of thinking. First, you've got etiology. That's just a fancy word for the study of cause. This is the Freudian view that says, I am the way I am because of my past. But then you've got teleology, the study of purpose or goals. This is Adler's view, and it says, I am the way I am in order to achieve some goal I have right now. See the difference? The focus completely shifts from the past to the present.
Let's use an example to make this real. The book talks about a friend who just refuses to leave his room. Now, the cause explanation would be that some trauma in his past caused his anxiety. But the goal explanation, it's completely different. It says, look, his goal is to not go outside. So, what's his method? He creates anxiety and fear as a perfect excuse. And what's the result? Well, his parents worry and give him nonstop attention, plus he never has to face the possibility of failing socially. He's not a victim of his past, he's actually achieving his present goals.
And Adler himself said it best. He said, no experience is in itself a cause of our success or failure. We do not suffer from the shock of our experiences, but instead we make out of them whatever suits our purposes. I mean, wow. In other words, you're not defined by what happens to you, you're defined by the story you decide to tell yourself about it. All right, let's keep building on this. Next up, we're going to apply this exact same logic to an emotion we all know really well, anger.
So here's a question. Is anger really this uncontrollable, impulsive thing? I mean, that's how we talk about it, right? We say things like, I lost my temper, or I flew into a rage, as if we were just passengers along for the ride. Well, Adlerian psychology says, nope, not at all. Anger isn't some impulse that takes you over, it's a tool. It's something you pick up and use to achieve a goal. And what's that goal, usually? It's to make someone else bend to your will, fast, without having to bother with a logical conversation.
The book gives this perfect example. Imagine a mother screaming her head off at her daughter. The phone rings. She picks it up, and instantly her voice is all polite and calm. Hello? She finishes the call, hangs up, and boom, she's right back to screaming. So what happened to that uncontrollable rage? It was a tool. She put it away when it wasn't useful, and then she picked it right back up again.
Okay, so if our past doesn't control us, and our emotions are just tools we use, then where does all our unhappiness and suffering actually come from? The answer is, well, it's so simple, it's kind of mind-blowing. Here it is. Adler says all problems are interpersonal relationship problems. Just think about that for a second. All of them. His point is, if you were the only human being in the entire universe, could you be lonely? Could you have social anxiety? Nope. Those problems only exist because other people exist. Think about feeling inferior. That's not about an objective fact, like how tall you are. It's a subjective feeling, and it only happens when you start comparing yourself to someone else. It's born purely out of our relationships with others. All right, so if all our problems come from our relationships with people, then how in the world do we fix that? Well, the key is to completely change the way you see other people and your own place in the world.
Most of us are taught to see life as a competition, right? Like we're all trying to climb the same ladder or pyramid. And if you're climbing, then everyone else is either above you or below you. They're rivals you have to beat. That mindset turns the whole world into enemies. But what if you stopped seeing a pyramid and instead saw a wide open, flat plane where everyone is an equal, a comrade, just walking alongside you?
When you make that mental shift, everything changes. For real. You can actually be happy when your friends succeed because their success doesn't mean you failed. Their win isn't your loss. All of a sudden, the world stops being this scary battlefield and starts feeling like a safe, friendly place.
This means the only healthy comparison you should ever make is with yourself. The book says a healthy feeling of inferiority is that little push you get when you compare yourself now to the ideal person you're striving to become. The goal is not to be better than everyone else. It's just to be a little better than you were yesterday. And this all leads us to the final piece of the puzzle. This is the toughest part of the whole philosophy, and it's the part that gives the book its title.
So let's recap. We've seen that your past doesn't define you, your environment doesn't trap you, it's not about your abilities or what you lack. So if it's not any of those things, why are so many of us unhappy?
The answer, according to Adler, is, well, it's brutally simple. The book puts it like this: you just lack courage. One might say you are lacking in the courage to be happy.
Now, hold on. Why on earth would someone lack the courage to be happy? Because staying where you are, even if it's miserable, is easy. It's comfortable. It's familiar. Actually choosing to change, to step into a new way of living, to step into the unknown, that is terrifying. And that, right there, requires real courage.
And that's really the final question, isn't it? Your life isn't determined by what happened years ago. It's decided right here, right now, by you. So, what are you going to choose? Do you have the courage to be happy?